Do you guys hear that? There's no more buzzing in the background from my lights. I finally hung up my LED lights in my hangar, and it's amazing to flip a switch and have instant light and not have to wait 5 minutes for the lights to turn on. But don't worry, we were as safe as possible when we put these lights up. Well, hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Now I know this is called the Kit Plane Enthusiast channel, so I'm not going to do too many videos on the Mooney, but I have a couple videos started that are on my computer that I've never finished, and this is one of them. So I wanted to finish up these videos and get them out so that I can start making newer, more relevant videos. This video is on the detailing and cleaning of my Mooney. I just bought this airplane last month, so I filmed this last month when I got the airplane, never finished it. So I'm going to finish this video. You'll see how I just cleaned some of the airplane, and then after that I'll just show you the current status of the airplane. In my last video I showed you how I wet sanded the paint, and then I buffed it and polished it using a 3-step process from 3M, and that really rejuvenated the paint and makes it look shiny and brand new. I also peeled off these old worn no step stickers, and I cut new ones out of vinyl and put those on just to make it look sharp and brand new. You can see here in the joints of the skin on the airplane this black line. It's just grease and oil and years of grime that's in there. I've already cleaned this area right here, and you can really see the difference, especially on the bottom area. I cleaned about an inch or so that you can see the difference. The way I did that is I took one of these acid brushes and I cut it about in half. These things are kind of hard to cut too because they have that center part that just doesn't want to cut. But anyway, that's all you need, just like that. Then I sprayed the end of the brush with WD-40, and I just used that brush to go in there and try to scoop out and clean all of that grime out of where the skins overlap. Just do about an 8-inch section at a time or so. Then I'll wipe it clean with a paper towel. And already, look at the difference in there. Just makes it look nice. Looks like the airplane was just painted. Once I'm done doing that, I'll use my solution of soapy water just to kind of clean the whole area, and I also wax it. Well, I'm real happy with the difference. You don't see that black line anymore where the skins overlap. Makes it look nice and brand new. And I just went around all the skins that need it. Here I'm doing the bottom part here, just getting that brush up in where the dirt is. Wipe it off and make it nice and clean. I'm also taking off all of the access covers to not only clean the cover, but also to clean under the cover. You can see when I take that off how dirty the lip is. So again, I just sprayed some WD-40 on a paper towel, and I'll wipe it clean. And I really want to get my fingernails in that little groove in the corner there and dig all that nasty goop out of there. Once the fuselage part is clean, it's time to clean up this access cover. WD-40 again works really nice for just removing all this stuff. You can see already what a difference it makes when you just spray a little part of it and wipe it clean. Now what I want to do is underneath where the screws were, there's still some of that black nasty stuff. So I just use a little bit of WD-40 and I wipe down under where the screws were on the outside of the access cover. After that, I'm going to use this car wax. Doesn't matter what you use, I just use this iBiz wax. And I'll wax the outside, just give a nice protective coat.
And you can see it kind of turns the rag a little bit red too, so I think it's taken off just a little bit of that oxidized paint, making it look nice. So before I put the access cover back on the airplane, I want to spray it with some of this ACF 50, which is kind of like Corrosion X. It just puts a very tiny thin film of oil on it to protect it from corrosion. The final step in the process here is I'm going to clean these screws and replace the nylon washer. The ones that are on there now are dirty and old and flattened out and distorted. As you can see, I can barely get it off. I'll use flits to polish up the screw heads to make them look nice and new and clean them up. All I did was put just a tiny little bit on a paper towel, take the screw in my fingers, and just wiped it on the flits. That removes any kind of dirt and oxidation on the screw. And you just wipe it clean and you'll see you get a nice shiny screw. I have a tray of nylon washers, so I put a new washer on it. And here we go. Looks like a brand new bolt, brand new washer, ready to reinstall. While the access cover's off, it's probably not a bad idea to look around inside the airplane and clean it if you want, or at least just check the push rods or condition of things on the inside. Now I want to show you how to put this on. The first way to put this on, this is for airline mechanics. You want to put it on so the paint scheme does not line up. In fact, if you could find a completely different colored one, that would work too. For normal people, put it back on the right way. Now I'll just show you some of the other things I've been working on. This fuel selector here, here's the before and after picture. Relabeled it, cleaned it up. Now the bottom of the airplane you can see is pretty nasty with all this black gook on it. It's all over the place on the bottom, so I've started cleaning that up. And you can see how really nicely this cleans up. And I just used the WD-40 on a brush and went around all the rivets and seams. Really made it look nice, and then I cleaned it with soapy water and waxed it. Here's the tie-down ring here. I would like to take the ring out and have it re-powder coated or painted just to clean that up. On the bottom of the airplane, I wish I would have taken some pictures before I cleaned it, because this whole area was just really nasty. Really cleans up nice though with a WD-40. Look how nice and clean this looks. It was all just black. All the screw heads had black grease around it. Now the gear well is really where I really need to work next. I really want to see how well I can get this area cleaned up. Might be hard to work in here, but I'm going to try. Try to get the wheels cleaned. Everything up in the gear well just needs cleaned up. I also want to take the flight controls off and clean the hinges and replace the hardware, but I'll wait until my buddy who's an A&P can help me out with that. It's currently the beginning of July 2019. The annual is due on this airplane in June, so we started taking the airplane apart last month. During the annual, I wanted to get rid of this transponder and install a new one with ADS-B. Right below that you can see an old Mooney, it's kind of like an autopilot, but I guess it's just a wing leveler. But it doesn't work, so I figured at the same time I might as well remove that. Here's the transponder and the autopilot removed. That's about 15 pounds right there. That of course left a gaping hole in the panel. So to fill that, I got a piece of scrap aluminum and I cut out the shape I needed. Cut the holes for the transponder and instruments, painted it black, and reinstalled it into the airplane. So now I have an ADS-B transponder. It looks really nice. I kind of reorganized it just a little bit, and I think it looks pretty cool, and it is now 2020 compliant. A transponder with ADS-B will also require a GPS antenna. So I had to remove the entire headliner and part of the interior to put in this antenna. But I do have a GPS antenna on top of the airplane right now. The patch you're seeing is a patch I made to cover an old ADF antenna. that I removed from the airplane. Now, if you're familiar with Mooney's, you know that they have about 65,000 access covers, and only a few of them really have to come off for the annual. I took all of them off just so I could inspect this airplane really good for the first time. But I also removed all of them because I wanted to clean them. You can see on the left here, in the left and center, how dirty the access covers are. They probably haven't been removed from the airplane in 20 years or so. The one showing here on the right is one that I've cleaned. And again, I just used WD-40 to clean them. So I removed them all to inspect the airplane and also to get them all nice and clean. Finally, we jacked the airplane up and did a gear swing. We actually had to adjust a few of the push rods to get the gear back into the Mooney specs. But all that work is done, and it looks great, works great. Everything's lubed, greased, lasts a long time.
Well, that's about it for the Mooney. The annual is almost done. My buddy that's a mechanic is coming back out today to finish up some other stuff. And then hopefully we'll get it signed off pretty soon. It should be ready to go by Oshkosh, so I'm looking forward to that trip. If you guys want to support the channel and help me out a little bit, check out my cool t-shirts I have, like this Mooney one. Go to aircrafttshirts.com. I've got a bunch of Mooney designs and lots of other ones on there you guys might like. Thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next video.